Hey, this is Louis D. Fresh, bringing it to you on a Saturday, I think it's morning, going on afternoon. I hope you're doing well. This will air tomorrow, mañana, on Sunday, September 8th, 2024. So anything I'm talking about, keep these things in mind on the year that you're watching this, whether it be 2044, 54, 64, things that I'm talking about. Always make sure that you look back and see that when I'm doing this video and apply it to whenever you're watching it. Example, when I was a kid, back in 1988, 1989, when I was applying for colleges, there was no internet. So, like for example, the FAF what is that? That's the FAFSA, because you literally had to mail it in. They would mail it back if you had any issues, mail it with any results. That's how we live. So now everything is digital and there. So things may change as things go on. It's like, how is it going to change? I don't know, but things may change, and thing may not be the internet or the FAFSA or whatever. So always keep these things in mind, whatever it is that we're talking about, that you apply it to your time period. So we're going to continue. I started this with the 2 weeks ago with high school. Beginning of the year, high school seniors. I thought I might as well finish it up with juniors and sophomores and freshmen. So let's talk about the class of 2026, the junior class. Here we have high school juniors, class of 2026. Where do we start? In terms of high school, question mark, start here. These are just little tidbits. There's plenty of different things, but I always believe that you got to have some type of starting point, and then you kind of fill it in as you go along. So let's see what our starting point is. Our starting point, and this is not always true for every school. So every school would kind of pay attention, high school juniors 2024 going on 2025. Your school may not offer this, but if they don't, you may inquire with the school, inquire with the counselor, inquire at collegeboard.org. That's the SAT site. The PSAT, I don't think it stands for preparation, but I call it preparation, PSAT, and the NMSQT, the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, now in the fall. You generally take that now in next month in October. It's a good way to prepare for the actual SAT. Again, look back on my archives, SAT, ACT. These are tests to kind of show, hey, this is how you will more or less do in college. It gives you I'm not a big fan of it, as I've said in the past, but it is used by many different schools, and it is definitely something that you have nothing to lose by taking it, and that's a good way to approach it. Gives you an idea of what your actual score would be on the SAT. Looking back on my archives, you'll see SAT, the best score would be 1600, 800, and 800 on each section. And again, the NMSQT is the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. It's great for your college and scholarship applications because time is a-running, and you need to kind of make sure that, hey, do I qualify? Will I get some type of scholarship? Will I be a National Merit Scholar? All those things you may say, well, that's really not important. Yeah, it is kind of important, because the worst that can happen is nothing. So I would definitely take the test, prepare for it, and just take it. Next up, in the springtime, and then I know it's the beginning of the school year, but it's always good to put it on your phone. Actually, I learned that from my wife, to put reminders on your phone. Definitely put a reminder on your phone for, say, January of 2025 and again, all the dates are relevant to your time that you're watching this. Take it in this spring. Put an alarm to remind yourself to register for the SAT and or ACT. I would take both. Again, looking back on my archives, both tests are accepted by colleges readily. I would take both. You never know. Whichever comes out best, that is what they're going to take. So in my opinion, it shouldn't be or, it should be and. Take the SAT and ACT in the spring. Both tests, oh, look at that, I wasn't even reading the thing, are both widely used by United States. Again, we're talking about the United States of America. People who are watching like in India, Pakistan, Canada, Italy, make sure you follow along with whatever your country does. for this country, the United States of America, we do have this to make admission decisions. I'm on the second line here. Admission decisions and award scholarships. Not every school uses it, but some of them do. Many of them do. It is now mostly not paper and pencil, but it is electronic. I know that I'm gonna have to learn about this, which I'm not looking forward to. That I have to take some training, because I know my volunteer school is going to do this with me, I think at the beginning of October, and it is a digital test, and I have to remind myself about that. Most colleges use it, some require it, and some don't want it. People that don't want it are called test optional. So if you see that word test optional, they're referring to the SAT and ACT. If you're just like, no, I'm not gonna take it, then you're definitely gonna want to look at test optional schools. In our case here in Florida, it would be like the public universities, because there's so many applications that they're not gonna look at all. Well, no, on the contrary, I'm thinking about something else. The SAT and ACT are required by our public universities. My bad. And some of the private schools do not require it. So you may want to take a look at that. My apologies. Public universities in Florida do require the SAT and ACT. You can take it again, the test in the summer and in the fall of your senior year. So don't worry about messing it up. You can write this down, the SAT and the ACT as many times as you want. Write this down. They will always take the highest score from each section, whether it be math, whether it be reading, whether it be, if you take the optional essay, will always take the best score, there we go, of each section of the SAT and ACT. So you have nothing to lose by taking it now in the spring of 2025 or in the spring of your junior year, or whenever you are watching this. Next is good to have an electronic folder to start storing scholarship opportunities in the spring. Again, put an alarm for January of 2025, or whenever you're watching this in the spring of that year. Notice the deadlines for these scholarship opportunities. Some deadlines can be due in the summer of your senior year. Do not do scholarships now, because the scholarships are indeed for graduating seniors. So you're going to want to store these deadlines and these scholarships so you can start in the summer of 2025, when you will be a senior graduating in May, June of 2026. Again, talk to your counselor, volunteer school, talk to me about finding scholarships. Volunteer school, look at my area of your school's website. On the bottom of it, I have scholarship opportunities there, and it's good for you to be aware of what they are. And again, I would do an electronic folder to start storing some of these scholarships, because time does go fast. Keep your eyes open and talk to your counselor so you can be ready for the summer of before your senior year gets started. I can't emphasize these things enough, because time does roll very quickly. Making sure this is indeed my last slide. I like to try to make these a little more concise. I know I usually try to do at least 5 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. I'm trying to hover now around the 10 to 12 minute mark, because I do know people have things going on. People, time is very precious. So I like to keep things very concise. So therefore, in that concise thought pattern, narrow your college list. Contact colleges, look at the websites, look at what financial aid is available, admission requirements, whether they need the SAT, ACT, whether they require essays. If people who are in the arts, I worked in an artish type of school for 3 years. If there's anything that you need to do for your art, whether it be a portfolio, I can't think of the word, where you kind of play for them, whether they're instrument, whether it be the I can't think of the word, and so make sure, check those things out, check out the deadlines, and how are you applying. Look back on my archives, and I think I may do something on this again. This is something to put down as you're narrowing your list of colleges. Are you going to apply early decision? Write this down. Early decision is a binding. It means that if you get admitted there, you are bound to go there by law. Early action means you apply early, you get a decision early, and you are not bound to go to that school. Regular decision is when everybody applies. That's the general deadline. And you have places that have rolling admission. You apply whenever you apply, and you get an answer back. But keep in mind, rolling admission, here's a little tidbit. Once the spots are full, they are full. And then they're like, well, you look wonderful, but we can put you on a waiting list maybe for next year. So rolling admission, even though it's whenever you want to apply, realize that spots do get full. And don't forget, I'm not quite sure, I don't think did I put it here? No, contact colleges, but I put it here. Make sure you visit, not just virtually, but actually take a trip. I know this is a family visiting a home, but in essence, what you're doing, you're visiting your new home. Go visit the school, not on a weekend, not on a holiday. Go on a school day, see what's going on, see the authenticity of what is going on at your potential future home. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed that. It's nice and easy, nice and concise. Again, for the class of 2026, juniors in high school, definitely take that quick review, the SAT, the ACT in the spring, take the PSAT and NMSQT. It's one test. It's not two different ones. Same test. Take it now in October of 2024. See how you do. You have nothing to lose, so you have nothing to worry about these things, because you can take them as, PSAT, SAT, ACT, nothing to worry. Just take it, see what you get, see what happens. Check out scholarships, do an electronic folder, quick review, put that stuff in your electronic folder. Start putting, say, okay, I'm going to do this, then. Start creating a little list. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you get it done. Knock it out. And start narrowing your college list. Start exploring. Contact your schools. Visit your schools. Figure out when you're going to apply. And this way, when the summer of 2025 rolls around, you have a game plan in place above everybody else. Louis D. Fresh.